Scott Lang is grappling with the consequences of his choice as both a superhero and a father. Approached by Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym, Lang must once again don the Ant-Man suit and fight alongside the Wasp. The urgent mission soon leads to secret revelations from the past, as the dynamic duo finds itself in an epic battle against a powerful new enemy. So how was Ant-Man and Wasp, and what life lesson can we take from this movie? Let's find out. Ant-Man and Wasp takes place kind of like during and a little bit after Infinity War and before Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Honestly, it kept me from watching because I just watched Avengers Infinity War, and the last thing I want to do is go watch Ant-Man and Wasp. Like, I want to know what happens already. The way the Infinity War ended, I mean, give me a break. So I didn't watch it, so I'm reviewing it now after I had already made Endgame and released it. That video you can check out at the end of this video. So when I first saw this movie, I remember not liking it as much because I think it's right in the middle of the cliffhangers. Being able to watch the cliffhanger of Endgame and then casually watch this one, it did give me a little bit of a different view. This movie still has the humor of the Paul Rudd meh attitude that he has, but it's full of a lot of humor. It's a fairly light-hearted movie. I don't feel a lot of weight in it, so if you're in for a light-hearted action hero flick, this would be a good one to watch. Not like I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so heavy. There's some dark things in it, but not really. You also get to see a lot of between Ant-Man and Wasp, which is Dr. Pym's daughter. You get to see them interacting more and building a relationship. That's also a bonus that you didn't get from the first one. One pet peeve of mine with Ant-Man in general, they have this inconsistency with the rules of how the shrink ray works. They say it works just one way, but the next thing you know, they're doing things that don't make sense. Like, for example, if you really keep the same density and weight when you're small, which they did establish earlier on, how the heck is he flying on an ant? You can't. The ant can't lift you. You weigh too much. And so in this movie, there's several times where I'm like, that doesn't fit the rules that you established earlier. That doesn't fit the rules that you established earlier. And that can get to bug me and pull away from the movie, which it did. And I did not care for that, but I did manage to just get over that and continue watching it. So it wasn't awful, but it's kind of like action over rules. One thing I thought would have been really cool had they had some indications in this movie, since literally Infinity War was starting in this movie, but we didn't see any indications of it. Would have been nice to have a little 2-minute blip of the news saying some alien ship landed in New York or whatever, like some type of indication like that, which there was none. At the end of the movie, there was obviously a hook to Endgame and a shout out to Infinity War, but prior to that, there was no indication that anything larger was going on. Also, one last thing I did not care terribly much about this movie was I didn't feel like there was really any real consequences. There were some bad guys, but what? There's no dire, okay, so they got it. And the guy wants to help someone, and that's what it is, and take the technology or something. It's kind of like, okay, well, stop them, I guess. It's more like corporate or my property. You can't have it kind of attitude a little bit, and that they kind of pulled away from it. A great life lesson was the villain in this one. This villain is so resentful. So resentful that when they feel justified because maybe they're going to die, they're willing to do whatever it takes. They don't have a moral line. They're like, whatever, I don't care. Because in their mind, they have been so victim view, poor me, poor me, poor me all the time. And there's someone in pain all the time, and I can get how that could happen, but it doesn't serve them any good. It reminds me of a quote. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. And you can clearly see this, how this actually hinders her and causes more pain and suffering because this person isn't willing to have a line and saying, okay, I won't do this, because there's so much resentment driving her. And I think it just really highlights the importance of not taking care of your resentment. Whatever you need to do, there's plenty of ways to take care of resentment. Therapy, 12-step, whatever. There's ways to deal with it. And that's what I learned from this movie. In summary, I think Ant-Man and Wasp suffers a little bit from being in the middle of the two largest movies in the MCU universe and appearing small and insignificant. The movie was funny. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the relationship between all the characters, kind of the family theme, and working together to solve a problem. Some of the drivers of the villains were cool. I also liked that as well. But overall, just fell a little short for what I would have liked. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I definitely enjoyed the movie, and I can see myself watching it again sometime on a lazy Sunday. In that, I give Ant-Man and Wasp a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Still good. Just not as good as the other ones. But hey, you don't have to stop here. You can keep watching MCU Universe videos that I've made right here. Or you can pick a random one right there. Either way, you don't have to stop learning life lessons and watching movie reviews, documentaries, and TV shows.